Hey guys, it's Kaylee from K-Books and this is my wrap-up post for the month of June. So I'm just going to show you the books that I read in June. There won't be a book haul video because I'm doing this one and it just takes too long to have to edit two in the same week, so there should be one next week. I actually only read ebooks this month, so there's no actual physical copies to show you. The first book that I read was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. And this one is a young adult epic fantasy novel, and it's the second in the Throne of Glass series. I absolutely loved this book. I read an arc of Throne of Glass before it was released last year and I loved it. I don't really read a lot of epic fantasy, so to love this one as much as I did was just quite surprising to me. And I couldn't wait to get my hands on Crown of Midnight, and it was even better. I thought it was just fantastic, and I'm dying for book 3 after the ending especially, so I gave that one 5 stars. The next book that I read is Sunspots by Karen S. Bell, and this one was an adult chick lit romance book. I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. The story was there, the story was good, but I just felt like the writing style let it down a little bit because I felt that I couldn't connect with the characters, so I couldn't get emotionally invested in the story and in what happened to them as I tend to do with other books, so it sort of like lacked a little bit for me. The next one is Darker Days by Just Ocado. And this is a young adult paranormal. I absolutely love Just Ocado. If you follow my blog, you've probably seen me rave about her quite a lot with her Denizen series. This is a new series. It's the first one in the Darker Agency series, and it's about a girl who, her mother is human and her dad is a demon. But she has no powers, but because of her dad being a demon, she knows about that world, and her mother run an agency that help people rid them of their paranormal, supernatural problems. It was really good, it was really funny. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's out in August and it's definitely worth picking up. I believe it's only coming out in ebook at the moment, but it's definitely worth downloading. I absolutely loved it. And the next one I read was Unveiled by Trisha Wolfe. This one was a reread for me, and it is the prequel to her upcoming book Fireblood. I absolutely loved it. I loved it back when I read it when it was just a standalone novella, but Trisha's made a few sort of changes to make sure it fits in completely with Fireblood. I loved it. It was fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. So it's the prequel in the Fireblood series. And the next one I read was Fireblood by Trisha Wolfe. It's due out in October, I believe, from Spencer Hill Press. I'm a beta reader for Trisha, so I got to beta read it for her, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to say too much of what it's about because I don't want to spoil the story, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's fantastic. The next book I read was A Stark's Wrath by Trisha Wolfe. This was also a reread. I got very much into a bit of a Trisha Wolfe marathon reading her books, and this one it's a historical, which I don't really like historical that much, but I really, really enjoyed it. And it's set in sort of Cleopatra, Egyptian times, and she does this perfect blend of the facts of the history with magic, and I loved it. It is a companion novel to Destiny's Fire, which I have yet to read. It's sort of looking at the history of what influences events modern day in Destiny's Fire, so I decided that I was going to read it first because then I would know all of the history ready for reading Destiny's Fire. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. The next book I read was Taste the Heat by Rachel Harris. This is an adult contemporary romance. It's out July, I think. I got an ARC from Entangled Publishing, so thank you, Entangled. And it's brilliant. It's just such a lovely, upbeat, contemporary. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's one of those books where if you've just read a book that's completely horrible in the way that it's very emotional and very heartbreaking, Taste the Heat is excellent for just having a nice, upbeat, happy, contemporary book. I really loved it. And the last book I read this month was another beta read, and this one was Hover by Melissa West. Hover is the second book in the Taking series. It's coming out in August, and it's a young adult sci-fi. The first one was Gravity, which I absolutely loved. I have it on my shelf. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's over there. So I absolutely loved Gravity, and a huge thank you goes out to Melissa for letting me beta read the second one. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. So if you've read Gravity, I won't say what happens in Gravity because I don't want to spoil it, but Hover is just looking at the effects on the character of what happens at the end of Gravity, and I could not put it down. It was fantastic, but a lot of stuff happens that has your heart breaking quite a lot. But if you haven't read that series, I would highly recommend it because it's absolutely fantastic. That's all the books I read in June. So I always do a top 3 books of the month. So my third favourite would have to be Fireblood by Trisha Wolfe. I just loved it. It was amazing. I can't wait for it to come out just so I can get it on my shelf and read it over and over and over again. The second one will be Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas because it was just fantastic. I couldn't put it down. I read it in one sitting. It was amazing. And number 1, so my favourite book of the month would have to be Hover by Melissa West because of all of the reasons I just told you. It was fantastic. I think it's one of the best books I've ever read. So the book I am currently reading now is, behind me, Camp Boyfriend by J.K. Rock. This is the first book in the series, and it comes out July 2nd, so it's out very, very soon, in a couple of days. So I love it so far. It's really, really good. I don't know what books I will actually be reading this month. I'm definitely planning on reading Independent Study by Joelle Charbonneau. Is that how you say the name? I don't know, it's up here, this one. But apart from that, I don't really know. I'm planning on having the whole month of July to just read no review books and just read the books, my personal books, a personal book reading month. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye!